I have a question for the ladies in the audience. How many of you, at some point in your life, had one or two, or maybe more, bad boyfriends? Stinky, rotten, bad boyfriends. Oh, come on. Okay. There you go. I was 35 when I met my husband. I had had more than I'd care to count. And I was very skeptical of him. I kept thinking, you look better, but I know there's something coming. The other shoe is going to drop because this is just going way too well. It took me a long time to say, okay, I accept it. You're a keeper, right? And I think we kind of feel the same way about assessments. We remember the ones we took when we were kids. We've seen ones in our states that we didn't think much of. And it's really, we've got a natural and healthy skepticism about assessment and about really, can you do this better? Well, Smarter Balanced and PARC have been about the work for the last 4 years of trying to do this better. And there's still lots of questions. I commend Rick for the debate that he has put forward in his blog. It's been thoughtful and good conversation back and forth, and hopefully more folks will take part in it than just Rick and the two consortia now. So that's all good. Smarter Balanced is a group of people who came together from states because they felt that assessment was integral to the teaching and learning process. Giving teachers good information about where kids are in their learning is essential for good instruction. And well-designed tests, like well-designed classroom assignments, can actually advance learning. It can be part of the learning process, not an interruption of learning, which is the way we've come to think of it. So, hence, tests for learning, not tests of learning. So here's an example of the devil that we know, right? Multiple choice, it's pretty easy to eliminate two options. You can 50-50 chance you can guess the right answer. I should note that I've heard a couple people say this morning, we haven't seen the tests yet. We don't know what the tests look like. Smarter Balanced has had a practice test on its website, freely available for a year. And actually today, make a little news, today we are releasing a refresh to that practice test. So it's been out there for so long that we thought people might want to see a new set of questions. And so we've done a refresh, and we've also expanded some of the accommodations and accessibility tools that are available through our practice test. So there's tests out there. Teachers are using them. They're being integrated into professional development programs. Parents are using them. They're there. Full tests, grade level, with a performance task, the whole enchilada. So here's just one simple example from one of our practice tests. This is an example of how we use a virtual manipulative. So kids dragging, dropping the little juice boxes to assess their knowledge of fractions. It's an example of how you can use computer-based testing to make the assessment experience more fun, more engaging, and also to get students to really be able to demonstrate their knowledge and think critically about how to analyze a problem. Another element of how the computer helps us make the experience more engaging for kids is the Smarter Balanced assessments are computer adaptive. So what that means is that the assessment adjusts to the kid. As the kid moves through the question, they get a question right, they get a little more difficult question, they get a question wrong, they get a little easier question. This makes sure that students are not breezing through a bunch of questions that they find way too easy, or being confronted with questions that they have absolutely no idea how to answer and that basically cause them to give up. It allows us to have more precise measurement and to do it in a little bit more efficient way. Another way that you can use the computer to tailor the assessment to the students is through the accessibility and accommodations tools that you can make available. And this is an area where we're pretty confident at Smarter Balanced that we are offering more features for students than any other assessment in K-12 has ever done. This is an example of a question with our glossary in Mandarin enabled. So student clicks on the word create, and there it is in Mandarin. We're offering that in 10 languages and 4 dialects. This one also happens to have Zoom enabled so that you can see it in the back of the room. Zoom is a tool that any kid can use. So lots of rich features like that that you can take advantage of with using computer technology. So absolutely the last panel, so right on about teachers owning this work. One of the ways to get teachers engaged is to actually have them write test questions and review test questions. And that's something that we have been doing a lot of with 3,000 educators. 25% of the test questions were written by educators. 100% of the questions were reviewed by educators. Let's keep going. So how's it working? How's it going? 4 million students have taken the Smarter Balanced field test. It's the largest online assessment as a field test that's ever been conducted in US schools. And it's going extremely well. Just one quick example. In 1 week, in April, 722,000 students in California completed field tests, and the help desk received 650 calls from California schools. Most of those are for things like, I forgot my password, can you reset my password? We've been surprised, really, at how well it's gone. There have been glitches, expect that. Schools have learned a lot through the process about planning for the technology implementation, but it's really gone, I think, much better than really anybody expected. So what are we hearing from kids? We're hearing these words, even fun. We even hear the word fun. They like taking the test on computer. When a group of kids, all right, I'll keep going. Here's an example of what a teacher thinks. You don't have to prep. If you're teaching the standards, the test is so closely aligned to the standards that that's all you need to do. Keep going. We've talked about that. We'll keep going. Assessment at the end of the year is really only part of the story. It's what most people focus on because of NCLB and accountability. This is a screenshot from our digital library on formative assessment, resources selected by teachers for use in the classroom to assess students every day. We also have an interim assessment that is teacher scored. So really important that these assessment systems are not just about an end-of-year accountability snapshot. It's about tracking student learning, getting good information all through the school.